Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, I welcome you in Pakistan International School Taif's virtual learning system for the session 2020. This is biology class for grade second year. Dear students, today we are gonna see some more systems in chemical coordination in chapter number 18. Today's topic is endocrine system of a human being. So let's get started. Dear students, in the previous chapter, you have seen hormones as a chemical messengers, their mode of action. Now we will see endocrine system of man, that in which we will see which um, glands are present in the body which produce different type of hormones or chemical messengers which perform different regulatory functions in the body. So almost 20 different type of ductless glands are present in endocrine system of human being. So some of major endocrine glands, their locations, functions, hormonal secretions, what type of hormones, we will all see here in detail. First of all, we will see very important organ of the body which is playing the neurosecretory role in releasing these hormones, and that is hypothalamus. You know where is hypothalamus is present? Yes, under the cerebrum. Hypothalamus under the thalamus, and which is present under the cerebrum in our brain. This is very important part of the brain which regulates almost lots of, or we can say all the body physiological functions in our body. For example, our sleep awake pattern, temperature control, uh, blood control, metabolites control, hormonal control, thirst, hunger, and every type of condition, it is controlled by hypothalamus. Actually, we can say that hypothalamus is the master control center of our endocrine system. How does it performs its function? How does it can play its role? That is a neurosecretory role. It means itself, it does not produce hormones, but it just senses lots of sensations, or like it just controls the sensations of the body and give messages to the pituitary gland which secretes the hormones. So endocrine system of our body directly controlled by the pituitary gland, but that pituitary gland is under the control of hypothalamus because they are interlinked with one another and they are having the connection. So how does it performs its function? We can see here in this diagram. Yes, this is hypothalamus. You can see here, sorry, not this one. Here in this diagram, this is brain and this is hypothalamus. And behind the hypothalamus, we are having a master gland that is actually just blueberry or a pea less than the pea size is gland is present under the hypothalamus, which has linked with this body. So this is like having the connection with the hypothalamus. So what type of connections it is having with hypothalamus? That is with the neurosecretory cells. And you can see here, for example, this is hypothalamus, and this is the stalk of pituitary gland by which it is attached with this hypothalamus. So you can see lots of blood capillaries are here, but lots of neurosecretory cells are also present here. This is called cell body, and these are the axons which move from the cell body towards the pituitary gland. So if we see here, these are hypothalamic neurons, and these neurons, these are body and these are axons. And what happened when they are having any type of stimulation from the body? So these cells conduct impulses and have developed secretory capacity to a high level, that these cells produce regulatory hormones which regulate the synthesis of secretion of further the pituitary gland or pituitary hormones. So the hormones produced in the hypothalamus, they can be in the two form. They can be in a releasing factor, or they can be the inhibiting factor. So these are produced by these cell bodies. Actually, these are the chemicals and act as neurotransmitters. So they move from the body throughout the axon, or you can see that these axons, these are the neurotransmitter. These are having axons and then terminals and synapse with these blood vessels. And these blood vessels, they get the neurotransmitters from the axons of these hypothalamic neurons. For example, this is the terminal of and it is having neurotransmitter that act as the chemical stimulation for the pituitary gland. Then it releases this into the bloodstream. From the bloodstream, it reaches to this anterior pituitary. Then what happened? Anterior pituitary gets the stimulation of like a releasing factor or stimulation of inhibition factor. Then it just releases its hormones, and by these veins or like blood vessels, it releases the hormones at the required organ. So this neurosecretory role of hypothalamus is very, very important regarding the regulation of the chemical coordination in the body. So if we see that how many types of inhibiting factors are releasing factors are released from the hypothalamus. So we can see that the hormone which is released from the hypothalamus, and then it affects on anterior pituitary gland, and that then anterior pituitary gland releases its hormone. So the hormone which is released directly from hypothalamus, they are growth hormone releasing factor. It means releasing factor means that those type of chemicals or hormones which affect the release of growth hormone in the pituitary gland, like it affects or it stimulates the pituitary gland, and then pituitary gland releases its own hormones. So that is called growth hormone. Then somatostatin, statin means stop. So this hormone, growth hormone, can also be stopped by inhibiting factor that inhibit the growth hormones of pituitary gland, and pituitary gland does not respond to this, like it does not release growth hormone anymore. That is its inhibition factor or inhibiting factor which is released from the hypothalamus. Actually the factor word is for the hormone. thyrotrophin releasing factor, it means that hormone just stimulate the pituitary gland to secrete or release thyroid stimulating hormone. Then it further just stimulates the thyroid gland, and then thyroid gland releases its hormones. Adrenocorticotrophin releasing factors, so that is released from hypothalamus and affect the pituitary gland, and then pituitary gland secretes adrenocorticotrophic hormone which affect the adrenal cortex of kidney, and then adrenal cortex of kidney adrenal cortex of adrenal gland that releases its own hormones. Prolactin inhibiting factor, it does not release releasing factor there. That is another reason how the releasing factors are releasing, but releasing factor it is continuous process. So but when there is no need, so prolactin inhibiting factor like this hormone is released from hypothalamus, and that stimulates the interior pituitary to inhibit secretion of prolactin. The next one, gonadotropin releasing factor, that hormone is released, a releasing hormone is released from hypothalamus that stimulate the secretion of follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH, and luteinizing hormone in the pituitary gland. And pituitary gland releases these two type of hormones for gonadotrophins. Like these are gonadotrophins which are released from the gonads, and pituitary gland just releases this one to affect the gonads. So if we see, in addition to neurosecretory cells, hypothalamus also produce two more hormones that are primary but that are directly released. They are not released into the pituitary gland, then pituitary gland releases its hormones, but that is directly released by hypothalamus. That is antidiuretic hormone, that is ADH, and oxytocin, which are stored in posterior pituitary gland, and that is released when there is need of that one. So let's talk about the major endocrine glands at its location in human being. As you know that this is hypothalamus, so hypothalamus directly release production of ADH and oxytocin and other regulatory hormones. That is pituitary gland, the master gland, and its anterior lobe releases lots of hormone, ACTH, adrenocorticothyroid stimulating hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, GH, gonadotropin hormone, prolactins, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, and melanocyte stimulating hormone. Pituitary gland, posterior lobe of this pituitary gland releases oxytocin and ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Then we can see that if we come down, there is thyroid gland. It releases thyroxine, that is T4, triiodothyronine, T3, and calcitonin. We will talk about these hormones in detail in the next coming topics. Then we'll go towards the next one, parathyroid gland. Parathyroid gland is at the behind of thyroid gland, and it is on the posterior surface of the thyroid gland and release parathyroid hormone. Pineal gland, that is present at the back of our brain, that releases melatonin, and like it just helps to just releasing melanin, which just regulates our sleep process. Then we'll talk about this one, that is thymus gland. Thymus glands undergoes atrophy during adulthood, and that is thymosin that is also released. Heart natriuretic peptides, it is released ANP and BNP. Kidney that releases renin, erythropoietin, and calcitriol that is the hormones which are directly released by the kidneys. Renal gland that are not actually controlled by pituitary gland, they are released directly by the kidneys, by the heart. And adrenal glands that is subdivided into adrenal medulla and adrenal cortex. So both are having different hormones which are released at the different situations. So epinephrine and norepinephrine, that is by adrenal medulla, which is the inner part of adrenal gland, and adrenal cortex is the upper part, that is cortisol, corticosterone, aldosterone, and androgens. Then we can have adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is the fat, almost the fat layer, but it's the gland that releases leptin and resistin. Digestive tract, that is pancreas, and that releases numerous hormones as well. Pancreatic islets, digestive tract, that is a stomach, and it releases its own hormones. For example, gastrin. Pancreatic islets that releases insulin and glucagon, that regulates the insulin and carbohydrate or glucose level in the body. Then gonads, testes for male, they are like the glands, or we can say the organs of male reproductive part. So they releases androgens, especially the male releasing on the male hormones, especially testosterone and inhibin, which just inhibit testosterone. And ovaries in female, that is female reproductive part, and that releases estrogen, progesterone or progestins, and inhibins, which inhibit these type of hormones. So we'll not talk about all the hormones in this chapter. We will just see some of the hormones which is released in the body, and which are having very important role in our body. So let's talk about master gland, that is pituitary gland. Actually, pituitary gland is, we have seen that is located, this is hypothalamus, that is located under the hypothalamus, and that stalk which is attached, which is the connection between hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, that is called infundibulum, and that is having lots of blood vessels on it, and as well as neurosecretory cells. These fibers or axons are present here. Very important thing, that this pituitary gland is divided into two lobes. The outer one, that is anterior lobe, that is larger one, and the back one is posterior lobe, that is smaller one, and in between that is that actually not apart, but there is the connection between this, that is median lobe, that secretes its own hormones. So if we see certain hormones of pituitary glands which are released from here, so that is growth hormone, GH, adrenocorticotropic hormones, thyroid stimulating hormone, gonadotropin hormones, prolactin hormone as well. So we can see its structure here in anterior pituitary. So we are having, you can see here lots of hormones are released here. Thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenal cortex, it affects on adrenal cortex, FSH, like follicle stimulating luteinizing hormone, that just stimulates testes and ovaries, the female and male reproductive parts. Then growth hormone, that just having effect on entire body, prolactin, that affects on mammary glands in the mammals, and endorphins, that as pain receptors that are released from the brain. So interior lobe of pituitary gland, that is actually called the master gland because it releases almost 6 hormones. The first of all, very important, that is growth hormone, GH, or that is called stomatotropic hormone as well. Its releasing factor actually is growth hormone releasing factor, or GHRF, which is released from the hypothalamus, and that is also inhibited by hypothalamic somatostatin, which we have seen before. It direct effects on all the body growth, cell division, uptake of amino acids, and rate of protein synthesis. It increases that, then the muscles build up over there. If it is just produce in less amount, that is if deficiency of growth hormone, then the person is having dwarfism. Dwarfism means overall growth will be very slow, and there will be development is much slower, and individual will become shorter, a short stature, like that can be said as dwarf person, that can be having very less height and body like muscles and structures as well. So all the body parts grow according to that person's growth, and brain development is almost like very good, but the body parts just stay in proportion with the height, and IQ level is also very good. It is unaffected. Gigantism actually is the reverse of that. If there is overgrowth or over secretion of growth hormones, if the childhood, then the bones are, we can say, the still capable of growing, person increases in height abnormally. So over secretion in childhood, that is called gigantism. So at when the person reaches to its adulthood, so that can called as uh, um, that is suffering from gigantism in the childhood. But if this problem just start to happen at the adulthood, that is called acromegaly, in which the different body parts they just increasing in different lengths, and in proportion length of or growth of the body is done. For example, limbs, hands and legs and feet and face, like this, jaws can be bigger than the normal. Then we'll see the next one, next hormone, because we are talking about 6 hormones which are released from anterior pituitary. Thyroid stimulating hormone that stimulates a thyroid gland, and then the releasing factor is a TRF, which is released from hypothalamus, and it just stimulates a pituitary gland, in which it releases thyroid stimulating hormone, and then it stimulates thyroid gland, which releases its hormone. And that is like there are lots of thyroid hormones are there, which we'll discuss in the next lectures. So that regulates the endocrine function of thyroid glands, so that is having very important role on the body activities and metabolism, and it also increases the number of cells, and it, when the number of cells increases, so secretory activity of the thyroid gland increases. If it is released in a more quantity, means over secretion, so that is called hyperthyroidism, and if it is in low, that is called hypothyroidism. So hyperthyroidism means it releases releases more thyroxine, and thyroxine is very important hormone, which is released by thyroid gland into the bloodstream, which affect the heart, muscle functions, brain development and maintenance of the body. If it is hypothyroidism, so lack of thyroxine is there. So we will see the next one, number 3rd hormone, that is adrenocorticotropic hormone, that is secreted or its releasing factor is corticotrophic releasing factor, which is released by hypothalamus and which controls the steroid level in the blood. And what it does, it directly hypothalamus directly stimulated by the level of steroids in the blood in the conditions of stress, cold, heat and lots of other situations. So it acts on adrenocorticotropic hormones, means it affects our adrenal cortex, which is present on the kidney, and it stimulates the secretion of corticosteroids, means cortisol and aldosterone, and they regulate the glucose and protein metabolism and lipid beta metabolism in the body. Number four, there are lots of hormones in this one, like follicle stimulating hormone, that is, and luteinizing hormone, LH, and this luteinizing hormone in male, if it is present in male, that is called interstitial cell stimulating hormones, and which releases further, we can say, the testosterone and other male hormones. And this is number five. Luteinizing hormone number six is prolactin, which is also called lutotrophic hormone, LTH, and that is collectively known as gonadotrophic hormones. And these hormones act upon reproductive system and regulates its function, like in secondary growth, in like in birth, in parturition, in male and female, lots of reproductive functions they are used for. So dear students, that's it for today. Inshallah, we will just continue the next hormones which are released from the pituitary gland in the next lecture. Till then, Allah Hafiz, wish you all the best.